You're standing on the pitch, the ball at your feet, and for just a second, you feel it. That flow state where everything clicks. But then it vanishes. You watch Mbappe glide past defenders like they're training cones, or De Bruyne thread a pass through a forest of legs, and you wonder what they have that you don't. It's not just talent. It's not just genetics. There are 7 specific things elite footballers do every single day that separate them from everyone else. And most amateur players have never even heard of them. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what those things are and, more importantly, how to start doing them yourself. This isn't about fancy flicks or viral tricks. This is about the invisible game. The one that happens in the mind and body before your foot even touches the ball. Let me show you something that changed everything for me. It's called pre-scanning, and if you've never heard that term before, you're about to understand why you've been playing blind your entire career. Pre-scanning is the deliberate act of checking your surroundings before you receive the ball, not once, but multiple times in rapid succession. It sounds simple, almost obvious, but here's the counterintuitive truth. Most players look around after they get the ball, which is already too late. Watch Pedri in a Barcelona midfield. He'll turn his head 4, sometimes 5 times in the 3 seconds before the ball arrives at his feet. He's not just looking, he's building a mental photograph of the entire pitch, where the space is, where the pressure's coming from, where his teammates are making runs. By the time the ball reaches him, he's already decided what he's going to do with it. This is why elite midfielders seem to have eyes in the back of their head. They've already seen everything. The science behind this is called situational awareness, and it's rooted in how our brain processes information. When you scan early, you're allowing your brain to shift from reactive to proactive decision-making. You're no longer responding to chaos, you're controlling it. Think about it. If you know a defender is closing you down from your blind side before the ball arrives, you can already position your body to shield it or take your first touch into open space. If you don't scan, you're guessing, and guessing gets you dispossessed. Here's the truth you need to tattoo on your brain. The best players in the world don't play faster, they play earlier. Now, let's talk about something that sounds like a contradiction. It's called micro-pressure touches, and it's the exact opposite of what you've been taught. You've been told to take a good first touch, control the ball, cushion it, bring it under your spell. But watch Erling Haaland in the box. Watch how Cristiano Ronaldo used to receive crosses. Their first touch isn't soft, it's aggressive. It's a touch that redirects the ball with just enough force to keep it close but also manipulate the defender's weight. A micro-pressure touch is when you receive the ball with intentional firmness, using the pace of the pass as a weapon rather than something to kill. Haaland does this constantly. When a through ball comes to him, he doesn't stop it dead. He takes it in stride with a firm, angled touch that pushes the ball into the space he's already moving toward. The defender has no time to adjust. This works because of physics and psychology. A soft touch requires more time and control, which gives defenders a split second to react. A firm, angled touch keeps the ball moving, which means you're always in motion, always one step ahead. The defender can't read you if you're never still. This is the paradox of elite ball control. Sometimes controlling the ball means letting it run. Now here's where it gets mental, and this is what separates good players from great ones. It's something I call the negative fake, and it's a psychological weapon that most players never think to use. A negative fake is a deliberate movement away from where you actually want to go, designed to make the defender commit in the wrong direction. Neymar is the king of this. Watch how he'll take a touch backward or sideways, almost like he's giving up on the attack, and the defender relaxes for a microsecond. That's when he explodes forward. The negative fake works because defenders are trained to react to forward movement. When you move backward or laterally, their brain registers it as a retreat, a sign that the danger has passed. But you're not retreating, you're loading the spring. It's like a boxer feinting a jab to throw a cross. The beauty of this technique is that it doesn't require speed or strength. It requires timing and deception. Andres Iniesta used to do this in tight spaces constantly. He'd take a tiny step back, the defender would shift their weight, and suddenly there was a passing lane that didn't exist a second ago. The explanation is rooted in human reaction time. It takes about 200 milliseconds for the brain to process a change in direction and send signals to the muscles. If you can create a false signal, you're playing with a built-in delay in your favor. The best players don't just move, they misdirect. Now I want you to think about your breathing. Seriously, when was the last time you thought about how you breathe during a match? There's a concept elite athletes across every sport use called rhythm breathing, and it's the reason some players look calm under pressure while others are gasping after 20 minutes. Rhythm breathing isn't just about fitness, it's about nervous system control. Footballers like Luka Modric and Jorginho use controlled breathing patterns during matches to regulate their heart rate and keep their decision-making sharp. When your breathing is erratic, your body thinks you're in panic mode. Cortisol spikes, your fine motor skills deteriorate, and you start making mistakes. But when you breathe in a steady rhythm, in through the nose for 4 counts, out through the mouth for 6, you're telling your body that you're in control. This activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your body's natural calm-down mechanism. The application is simple but game-changing. During throw-ins, goal kicks, or any moment when the ball is out of play, focus on your breath. 4 counts in, 6 counts out. This 30-second reset can be the difference between composed play and chaotic scrambling in the next phase. You've seen players like Kevin De Bruyne walking slowly back into position after a sprint, chest rising and falling in a controlled pattern. That's not just recovery, that's recalibration. Control your breath, control the game. Let's go deeper into decision-making because this next one is where most players lose matches before they even realize it. It's called exit mapping, and it's the difference between players who can play out of pressure and players who panic. Exit mapping is the practice of identifying 2 or 3 exits before you even receive the ball. It's pre-scanning, taken to the next level. You're not just looking at where players are, you're calculating where you can go if things go wrong. Watch Bernardo Silva when he's pressed by 2 defenders. He never looks trapped because before the ball arrived, he already mapped 3 exits. A 1-2 with a nearby teammate, a turn into space on his back foot, or a quick layoff to reset possession. He's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. This is a trainable skill rooted in pattern recognition. The more you practice identifying pressure scenarios in training, the faster your brain will recognize them in matches. Neuroscience shows that the brain creates shortcuts called heuristics for repeated situations. When you've mapped exits hundreds of times in training, your brain doesn't have to think in a game, it just knows. The players who get caught in possession are the ones who only see one option, and when that option closes, they freeze. Elite players always have a plan B and a plan C running in the background. Think in layers, not in lines. Here's something that will sound strange at first. It's called weighted silence, and it's about what you do when you don't have the ball. Most amateur players think their job is to get open, make runs, demand the pass, but elite players understand the power of patience. Weighted silence is when you deliberately stay in a position that looks passive, but is actually creating space for a teammate or drawing defenders out of position. Thomas Muller built an entire career on this. He's called a roundoider, a space interpreter. He doesn't sprint around frantically, he lingers in pockets where defenders don't know whether to mark him or leave him. That hesitation creates chaos in the defensive structure. This works because of spatial geometry and cognitive load. Every defender on the pitch is tracking multiple threats. When you stay in a quiet position, you force them to make a choice, stick with you or help elsewhere. The moment they choose wrong, you explode into the space they left. It's a trap disguised as laziness. The psychological aspect is equally important. When you're constantly moving, defenders can predict your rhythm. But when you pause, when you go still, you break their prediction model. Suddenly, they can't anticipate when you'll move, which means they're always a step ahead. Silence can be louder than noise if you use it at the right moment. And finally, and this is the one that ties everything together, there's the concept of tactical bravery, and it's probably the most important thing you'll hear today. Tactical bravery isn't about crunching tackles or taking long shots. It's about making the difficult decision when the easy option is staring you in the face. It's choosing the forward pass when the back pass is safer. It's demanding the ball when the game is tight and the pressure is suffocating. Sergio Busquets embodied this for years at Barcelona. In situations where most defensive midfielders would play it safe, he'd receive the ball with 3 players pressing him and calmly pass it through them to start an attack. Why would he take that risk? Because tactical bravery is the willingness to fail in pursuit of something greater. This is deeply psychological. Most players avoid risk because they're more afraid of looking bad than they are motivated by success. But elite players have recalibrated their relationship with failure. They understand that the cost of playing safe is invisibility, and invisibility doesn't win matches. The explanation comes from sports psychology and growth mindset research. Players who embrace tactical bravery see mistakes as information, not judgment. When they lose the ball trying a risky pass, they don't spiral, they adjust and try again. Over time, their success rate increases because they're practicing at the edge of their ability, which is where all growth happens. The safe player stays stagnant, the brave player evolves.
You miss every pass you don't attempt, every run you don't make, every risk you don't take. Here's the deeper truth that nobody talks about. All of these techniques, from pre-scanning to tactical bravery, are really about one thing: playing the game at a different speed than everyone else. Not physically faster, but mentally faster. The best players in the world see more, process more, and decide more efficiently than their opponents. They're not superhuman, they've just trained their brains to operate at a higher level. And that's the mindset shift I want you to leave with today. Football isn't just played with your feet, it's played with your mind, your awareness, your ability to read the invisible patterns happening all around you. When you start training these 7 things, you're not just improving your technique, you're upgrading your entire understanding of the game. You're stepping into the world that professionals live in, where every moment is intentional, every movement has purpose, and every decision is calculated. This is how you close the gap between where you are and where you want to be. So here's what I want you to do. Take one of these concepts, just one, and focus on it in your next training session or match. Film yourself if you can, watch it back. Count how many times you pre-scanned. Notice when you could have used a negative fake or mapped an exit. The players who actually apply this will see results within weeks. The ones who just watch and forget will stay exactly where they are. We've built an entire community of players who are serious about this transformation. Join the Discord in the description below, where we break down professional matches, share training drills, and hold each other accountable. I've also put together a free ebook that expands on every concept in this video with specific exercises you can do alone or with a team. Download it, study it, live it. The gap between you and the pros isn't as wide as you think. It's just invisible until you know where to look. Now you know. Go prove it on the pitch.